And good afternoon, everybody. Spokane Steve here, and it's time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Today we move on to May 14th, 1966 on the schedule in our 1966 replay, the Boston Red Sox at the California Angels, and a good crowd on hand at the Big A on a Saturday evening. Well, it's a Saturday, so makes sense, right? Just over 41,000 in the house for this one. And greetings, Kenyon and Franklin. I am here, I was there, but not live. I'm not even sure what that means, Franklin. Hope everyone's having a good Monday, however. The start of the week, although it's, I guess, officially, they're technically the second day of the Strat-O-Matic week, but we're starting a new day on the schedule, so we'll call it the start of the week. I did the stats update earlier today. Through 5 weeks of play. And there's Jeremiah. Yes, it was Jeremiah. You can catch that on the replay, on the video. It's about 30 minutes long. And speaking of the stats update, if there's anything I'm not covering that you guys would like to see, let me know. That one, we can go any number of directions with the stats update. I don't mind if it's a little longer. Or even a little shorter, excuse me. Okay, let's get to the pitching matchups today. For the Red Sox, Earl Wilson will take the mound. As you can see by his card, he would later be traded to Detroit that season. Wilson was a good pitcher and a good hitting pitcher. Righty Jim McLaughlin will take the mound for the Angels. Let's check their replay numbers here. You can see Wilson with a fine card, McLaughlin a so-so card. Too many hits allowed. The one thing McLaughlin has going for him is he doesn't walk anybody, but he was hittable. Wilson so far in the replay is 2-1 with a 3.70 ERA. This will be his 7th start. He has 2 complete games. McLaughlin's been fantastic for California. He's 1-0, but with a brilliant 1.96 ERA. 4 starts, 2 relief appearances. He has 1 complete game, and it was a shutout. 23 innings of work. So there's your particulars on the mound. Let's get to the lineup so we'll get this game started here on a Monday. For the Red Sox, Rico Petrocelli leads off and plays shortstop. Dalton Jones is back at second base in the 2 spot. Carl Yastrzemski batting third and left. George Scott, the cleanup man, plays first. Tony Conigliaro in right field, hitting 5th. Lenny Green will be in center today. He'll bat 6th. Joe Foy, the third baseman, 7th. Mike Ryan will do the catching and hit 8th. And Wilson, a pretty good hitting pitcher, bats 9th. And greetings to So Bowley. He was a strike thrower, Kenyon. Yes, sir. The Angels defensively have Bob Buck Rogers behind the dish, Joe Adcox at first today with Knopp and Fregosi up the middle, Paul Shaw down at third. Outfield left to right, Reichart, Cardinal, and Willie Smith gets a start in right field. Jackie Warner having some injury problems, but he says he's available to pinch hit if necessary. So McLaughlin's ready to work here. Up to the plate steps Rico Petrocelli, comes into the game hitting .269, 3 homers, 11 RBIs. McLaughlin into the windup, and we are, whoa, that's a re-roll. Petrocelli fouls one back. McLaughlin rubbing up a new ball. The windup and the pitch. 2-4 right-handed, and he pops him up on the left side. That's going to be Fregosi making the play. There's one out, and we are underway here. Hang out with me on a Monday for an hour or so. Usually about 70 to 90 minutes is what we're running lately, just to give you a ballpark average on the game times. Here's Dalton Jones. Jones hitting just 200, 5 for 25, only his 15th game of the season. He does not have a run batted in. McLaughlin into the windup. Pitch to Jones on a 111 right-hander. He reaches out and slaps it the other way into left field for a single. So Dalton Jones aboard with a 1-out single. No threat to steal. Good runner, however, 1-15. And up to the plate strides Carl Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski hitting just .245, 4 home runs, however, and a team-leading 17 RBIs, which, as you know from the stats update, would place him among the league leaders. McLaughlin from the stretch. The pitch to Yaz is a 6-5 left-handed. It's a grounder to short. Fregosi has it. Throws to Knopp for 1. On to first, not in time. That'll be a 6-4 force. 2 down, and it will be up to George Scott. Scott batting .252, a team leading 7 home runs. He has 16 runs batted in. McLaughlin now getting the sign from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Scott on a 4-8 right-handed. He loses him, ball 4. So McLaughlin, who doesn't issue many walks, walks Scott here with 2 down. First and second, and Tony Conigliaro will be the hitter. Tony's hitting .257, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. McLaughlin stares in from the stretch. That's going to be a 3-7 right-handed. It's a double to 5. However, on a 9, it'll be a single 2-star. Yastrzemski can score on that. Scott into third. It's an RBI single for Tony C. And the Red Sox are on the board first, 1-0. Here's Lenny Green now, the left-handed hitting center fielder. Green just 8 for 45 so far. That's 178. No homers, 6 RBIs. Good defensive outfielder, left-handed batter. McLaughlin gets the sign now from the stretch. Pitch to Lenny is a 4-10, a shallow fly into center field. Cardinal charging now. He's there. And that will retire the side. The Red Sox settle for a run on 2 hits and leave a pair. The end of half an inning. It's Boston 1, California coming to bat. And a shout out to Jeffrey and Michael here today. Welcome, guys. As Earl Wilson gets ready to work here, I'll give you the Angels lineup. Jim Fregosi will lead it off at shortstop. Bobby Knopp in the 2 spot at second base. Willie Smith playing right field today hits third. Rick Reichart, the left fielder, bats cleanup. Joe Adcock at first base hitting 5th. Buck Rogers, the catcher, hitting 6th. Jose Cardinal in the 7th spot in center field. Paul Shaw at third bats 8th. And McLaughlin, the pitcher, bats 9th. Boston defensively will have Mike Ryan behind the plate, Scott at first, Jones and Petrocelli up the middle with Foy down at third. The outfield left to right is Yastrzemski, Green, and Conigliaro. Catching up on the chat now. And there's Ben. Welcome to Ben as well. The Red Sox are Franklin's second rival, right behind any New York team. So Franklin, you're Baltimore, right? If I remember correctly. Hang on a second, there's something flashing on this screen. Okay, I shut that down. I'm sure that was caused by Mookie climbing onto the keyboard while I was trying to do the stats update. Anyway, here we go. Bottom of the first. Earl Wilson's ready to go to work, and up steps Jim Fregosi. Fregosi comes into the game hitting .287. 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Right-handed batter. Wilson gets the sign from Ryan. Here we go. It's a 3-10 right-handed. He pops him up. Left side. Petrocelli has it. So each inning begins with the shortstop popping up to the other team's shortstop. And here's Knopp. Bobby Knopp hitting just 179. 1 homer, 5 RBIs. With the Angels, as we saw from the stats update, so far a very offensively challenged team. .225 team average. Boston not much better at 239. The Angels have pitched well, pretty well, however, with a 3.91, slightly below average, but solid. So here's the pitch to Knopp. That's going to be a 2-7 right-handed. Base hit up the middle, and Knopp with a one-out single is aboard. Bobby Knopp not a threat to run. Willie Smith will be the hitter now. Smith has not played much. He is just 2 for 9 on the season. Getting a start today in right. Left-handed hitter. Wilson from the stretch. Comes in there with a 6-3 left-handed, and that's a fly ball to left field X. So we know who's in left for the Red Sox. That's Yaz, a 1E6. Yaz on his horse. Here's the play. That's going to be the E rating of a 5 on an E6. It's off his glove for a 2-base error. It's that dreaded 5 again. And Yastrzemski cannot make the play. A rare error for the E6. So that'll go E7. Knopp will stop at third. Error on Boston. And the Angels are in business here in the first, second, and third, and 1 out. Rick Reichart coming up, Joe Adcock on deck. Reichart, the leading hitter on the team so far at .302. 7 home runs, 13 RBIs. Also leads the team in steals with 7. With a 1-run lead early, I normally don't pull the infield in the first inning, but I'm going to let the dice decide. 1-3 we're in. It's going to be in for Reichart. Wilson with the pitch. 5-9 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. A huge strikeout for Earl Wilson. That's the second out, and a big out it is with runners at second and third. And it will be up to Adcock. Joe Adcock hitting .269, 7 for 26. 2 of those 7 hits, however, are home runs, and he has 9 RBIs. Second and third, infield back, 2 away. The windup and the pitch to Adcock. A 6-11 right-handed is a fly ball to right field X. That's going to be Tony C, a 3-8. Tough play for Tony. Here's the roll on the play on a 10, error rating. It's a 10. The roll is a 10, rather. On an E8, and he makes the catch to retire the side. A fine running catch by Canigliaro. No runs, a hit, 1 left. The Angels, Strand 2, waste an opportunity there in the first. After 1 complete, it's Boston 1, California nothing. Here's McLaughlin now. McLaughlin was a little wild in the first inning, gave up 2 hits and a walk, resulting in a run. It'll be the bottom of the order for the Red Sox in the second. Joe Foy to start things off. Foy, the leading hitter on Boston at the moment at .318. 21 for 66 with 4 home runs. McLaughlin getting the sign now. Pitch to Foy is a 5-4 right-handed. That's a grounder to third base X. That's going to be a tough play for Shaw, a 3E25. Shaw quickly towards the line now. And here it is on a 5. That spells trouble, and he boots it. Error Shaw. So 2 errors already in this one, 1 on each side. That puts Foy aboard for Mike Ryan, the catcher. Ryan, a defense-first catcher, well, not much of a hitter, really. He's only hitting .115, 6 for 52 with just 1 RBI. McLaughlin checks the runner now, and from the stretch, delivers to Ryan. 3-9 right-handed, it's a high fly ball to left field. Going back is Reichart, and he's there to make the catch just shy of the track. So Ryan gave it a ride. 3-9 right-handed, homer to 4. On a 16, it's allowed out to left. And that will bring up Wilson. Right-handed batter. 7 pitchers hitting card with N power. So Wilson could handle the bat. Throughout his career, he was used often as a pinch hitter. And yes, Craig, he did a great job on Home Improvement to boot. McLaughlin out of the stretch. I know, Ben, it feels that way, doesn't it? Of course, we're all looking for it now, which, you know, selective memory and whatnot, but it does seem that way to me. Here's the pitch now. It's a 2-8 right-handed swung on and missed, strike 3. So McLaughlin fans Wilson, and with 2 away, the lineup will turn over and Rico Petrocelli will come to bat. Rico popped to short his first time up. Ben lost stream. Okay, I've lost stream as well. What is going on here? Okay, it looks like we're back to me. I had the little wheel spinning on my end as well. No, Mookie's taking a nap. We can't blame this one on Mookie. So runner on first, 2 away, and here's Petrocelli. McLaughlin from the stretch comes to the plate 5-8, and that is going to be ripped into the gap for a double. An open double. Cardinale chasing it down. Foy can try to score on that. He's in 11 with 2 outs, 13. Cardinale -2 makes him 11. They're going to send him. Here comes the throw, 1-11, and he scores. An RBI double for Petrocelli. Foy crosses the plate. That will be an unearned run charged to McLaughlin. And the batter will be Dalton Jones. Petrocelli would hold at second, 11-6-4. He would have been a 1-4 trying to take third on that. That's true, Ben. I also like this similar saying about your problems. Never tell anyone your problems. Half the people don't give a shit, and half the people are glad you have them. So here's Dalton, 1 for 1. Runner in scoring position now, 2-0 Boston. McLaughlin from the windup. It's a 110 right-handed. That's going to be a double to 5 on a 14. That's going to hang up in right field for Smith, who fades back just shy of the track and hauls it in to retire the side. So a run on a hit. There was an error, an unearned run charged to McLaughlin. And Boston leads it 2-0 as we move along to the bottom of the second. Yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say I haven't had internet problems sporadically in this apartment. I've been here a little over a year. Cable is, well, not cable, I don't have cable, but the internet, Xfinity. Oh my God, I had the power go down last night, only for less than a minute. It basically just blinked off and on twice. And thinking about it now, I did not reset the clocks on the microwave or the kitchen. The rest of them are automatic, of course. Not much you have to reset anymore. That's one positive thing about the modern era. I try to look at the bright side. I mean, definitely I pine for the old days, like many of us, don't get me wrong. But there are some things when you consider it, you have to admit, okay? There are some conveniences. What we're doing here being one of them. I mean, you know, boy, if I'd have had this when I was young, holy cow. I'd have been playing all my leagues and stuff online. That would have been fun. Okay, bottom of the second. Here's Bob Rogers to lead it off for California. Rogers just hitting 173. Or I should say hitting just 173. He has a homer. 6 RBIs, switch hitter batting left-handed. Here's the pitch on a 210 right-handed. He struck him out. Second K for Wilson. Down goes Rogers. And the batter will be Jose Cardinal. Cardinal, you probably remember, started off the season as the Angels' leadoff man. Demoted to the 7th spot in the order. And not hard to see why, as he's only batting 188 so far, with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs. Right-handed hitter. Good card. He should be better than this. So Cardinal's still trying to get his season untracked as he stands in from the right side. And Wilson goes into the windup now. Here's the pitch on a 3-6. It's a tapper into the hole. Petrocelli's there to plug it up. Throws across in time. And quickly there are 2 away in the second. The batter will be Paul Schall with 2 down. Schall batting .231, a pair of homers and 6 RBIs. Right-handed hitting third baseman. Wilson into the windup. Gets the sign from Ryan. Now into the windup. Pitch to Schall, 2-9 right-handed. It's a fly ball into straightaway center. Green fading back a bit and pulls it in for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning for Earl Wilson. We've played 2 here in front of a big crowd today at the Big A, and it's Red Sox 2, Angels nothing. Could be a wild game. That's why they invented toilet paper. Well, that was a good invention, yeah. They've got a new, I just saw a commercial in the last day or so for a environmentally friendly toilet paper, and the name of the product, believe it or not, are you ready for this? Some of you must have seen this one. But anyway, the name of it is Give a Crap. Give a Crap toilet paper. True, it's I'm not making this shit up, okay? You can't make it up. To the third we go. Yastrzemski to start things off. Hit into a force play, came around to score in the first. McLaughlin gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Yaz. It's a 4-8 left-handed. That's a ground ball wide of second. Knopp has it. Throws him out, 1 down. Knopp, of course, a marvelous defensive second baseman. Here's George Scott. He walked his first time up. McLaughlin gets the sign from Rogers. Here's the windup in the pitch. It's a 2-7 right-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Second strikeout for McLaughlin. And here's Tony C. Singled in the first run of the game back in the first. McLaughlin into the windup. That's going to be a 5-7 right-handed. That's a base hit up the middle, and Canigliaro is 2 for 2. Tony put on a display earlier in batting practice. Not surprised to see him get off to such a good start. So Canigliaro at first with 2 away. Here's Lenny Green, 0 for 1. McLaughlin checks the runner now from the stretch. Comes in there with a 2-7 single to 17 on a 10. That's knocked down at second by Knopp, but he has no play. That's going to go as a base hit. Canigliaro stops at second. So first and second, 2 away, and Joe Foy will be the batter. Foy reached on an error. Leading off the second, came around to score. Foy, once again, the leading hitter so far, came into the game at .318, the leading hitter on Boston, just to clarify. McLaughlin checks the runners now. Here's the pitch to Foy on a 4-9 right-handed. That's a high fly ball driven to deep left field. Reichart hitting back. He's at the track. He's at the wall. It's gone. Home run, Joe Foy. And that really silences the crowd here at the Big A. A 3-run blast by Joe Foy makes it 5-0. Let's take another look at it. 4-9 righty homer, clean homer off of McLaughlin. Foy definitely has the power. That's his 5th home run of the season. And the Red Sox lead it 5-0. McLaughlin only rated 5 endurance as a starter, so the question is, how long is Rigney going to go with McLaughlin now? And here's Mike Ryan, the catcher, 0 for 1. The pitch from McLaughlin, 3-5, a triple to 3. On a 5, he'll settle for a long single. The 4th consecutive hit off of McLaughlin. Holy cow, the Red Sox are all over McLaughlin here in the 3rd, and here comes Wilson. And Wilson can swing the bat. 7 with end power. The pitch from McLaughlin on a 2-7 fly ball into center. That's playable for Cardinal. Ranging to his left, he snags it to retire the side. But 3 big runs for the Red Sox on a 3-run blast by Joe Foy. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 left, and it's 5-0. I guess the question now is it too early to hit for McLaughlin? It really feels to me like it is, even though he's given up 5 runs. And Edmund Cashin? Okay, somebody's going to have to help me out with that one. And Franklin, these kids these days. Oh yeah, I'm in a good mood today, apparently. Okay. These damn kids these days. We're going to go a little longer with McLaughlin. I can't take him out of the 3rd inning, for God's sakes. Here he comes. Right-handed batter. Wilson comes in there 2-6 and strikes him out. 3rd strikeout of the game for Earl Wilson. That'll turn the lineup over, and Jim Fregosi will come to bat for the 2nd time. He popped up to short his 1st time up today. Here's the windup and the pitch to Jim. It's a 6-6 right-handed fly ball into center field. Green ranging to his right, and he's there to make the catch. That'll bring up Knopp. Knopp has the Angels' only hit in the game so far, a single back in the 1st. Wilson into the windup. 3-7 right-handed. That's another fly ball into center. Green coming in a bit for this one. He's there and gloves it for the 3rd out. A 1-2-3 inning for Wilson, who's now retired 8 in a row. After 3 innings complete at the Big A, Boston 5, California nothing. And here's McLaughlin. Thought about pinch hitting for him, but God, in the 3rd inning, especially in those days, I don't think they really did that, did they? Hell, they barely did it a few years ago when the National League still had the pitcher batting. Anyway, top of the order for Boston in the 4th. Petrocelli 1 for 2. McLaughlin gets the sign. 5-8 right-handed. That's a homer on a 1. On a 19, he will settle for a double. 2nd double of the game for Petrocelli. Leadoff double by Rico, and here's Dalton Jones, 1 for 2. McLaughlin getting the sign. The pitch to Jones is a 2-10 right-handed, and he pops him up on the right side. Adcock under it. He's got it. 1 down. Yes, Earl Weaver, the 3-run home run. Boy, they were more colorful in those days, too, weren't they? One of my favorite Weaver stories was when the interviewer asked him why he didn't bunt in a certain point in the game, and Weaver's response was, and I quote, "You can take the sacrifice bunt and shove it up your ass." So here's Yaz, runner at second, one down. McLaughlin checks the runner. Comes to the plate, 4-8 left-handed. That's a grounder to second base. That's going to be Knopp. Throws to Adcock as Petrocelli takes third. Yeah, I mean, they said what was on their mind then, though. Now it's all canned cliches. You've seen one interview today, you've seen them all. They're all reading off of a script, basically. Politically correct, to be sure, but it certainly lacks entertainment value. So here's Scott with 2 down, 0 for 1 with a walk. McLaughlin struggling to stay in this ball game, quite frankly. And here's the pitch for Scott. That's going to be a 6-6 right-handed. It's an RBI single up the middle for Scott, and it is 6-0. And they are all over McLaughlin. Tony Conigliaro coming up. He's 2 for 2. There's action in the California pen now. Jack Sanford throwing. Rogers out to the mound, probably buying some time for his reliever. Rigney's coming out as well. McLaughlin nodding. Let's see what they're going to do here. Tony C's 2 for 2 with an RBI. Looks like they're going to give him one more batter. So it's McLaughlin against Tony C here. Runner at first, 2 away in the 4th. From the stretch, a 3-9 struck him out right in the heart of his good column. Oh my goodness. McLaughlin living right on the edge there. Look at that, 3-9. The only out in the whole column. Other than the split possible, right? 3-12 homer to 8 fly ball out otherwise. And he found the strikeout. Boston adds on a run on 2 hits and leaves him in. We go to the bottom of the 4th, 6-0 Boston. And here's Wilson now. He'll face the heart of the California lineup, Smith, Reichart, and Joe Adcock. Smith reached on an error in the first, 0 for 1. Wilson's been in complete control, in exact contrast to McLaughlin. He goes into his windup. The pitch to Willie Smith is a 5-7 left-handed. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's strikeout number 4 for Wilson. Wilson with a 6-run lead now. He's coming right after these guys. Reichart 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Wilson working quickly. The windup, the pitch is a 4-6 right-hander. That's a base hit up the middle for Rick Reichart. So Reichart with just the Angels' second hit of the ball game. Reichart leads the club in stolen bases. He's a star 15. Wilson, a poor hold. Many good qualities, but holding the runner, not one of them. Ryan with a 0 arm. That would make Reichart a 19. They're going to hold him, making him a 17. And I don't think he's even going to try it down by 6. Adcock has power. He's going to swing away. Wilson checks the runner now. From the stretch, the pitch to Adcock is a 2-6, a single to 3, but on a 15, that's going to be a grounder to first. Scott has it down to Petrocelli, back to Scott. 3-6-3 double play ends the inning. No runs to hit, nobody left on. Now maybe Reichart should have tried for the lead. At least he might have stayed. If he'd have gotten it, he might have stayed out of the double play. On the other hand, you hate to get thrown out on the bases when you're trailing by 6. So McLaughlin on a very short leash as he takes the mound for the 5th. His first inning of potential fatigue. Green, Foy, and Ryan due up. And I've got somebody at the door. I beg your pardon. Alrighty, and we are back. My apologies there. It was the maintenance crew from the apartment. Thought it might have been. And Philip's here. Welcome to Philip. Alright, let's see where we are at here. We are in the top of the fifth. Lenny Green leading off against McLaughlin. Alrighty, McLaughlin, as I said before, on a very short leash at this point. Here's the windup and the pitch to Green. 1-7 right-handed. He walks him, and here comes Rigney, and that's going to be it. He's seen enough. So McLaughlin walks off the mound. Scattered boos in Anaheim Stadium. Just 4+ from McLaughlin today, who came into this game with a 1.96 ERA. Well, that's going to go up considerably. He allowed 3, 7, 9 hits. He didn't fool anybody today, did he? He walked a pair. Struck out 3. Sanford coming on. Let's see if we can... Possibility of a double switch. We're not going to take the heart of the order out. Okay, so no double switch. Sanford may end up sucking up some innings anyway. He's rated 4 for relief endurance. Jack Sanford on the season so far. 6 relief appearances, 2 starts. He's 1-2 with a rather high 5.73 ERA. He's brought on to face Joe Foy with Mike Ryan on deck. Nice job, Ben. Appreciate it. So here's Foy, runner on first, nobody out. Gets his sign from Rogers. From the stretch, the pitch to Joe Foy. It's going to be a 3-2, and he hits him. Holy cow. Sanford comes in and promptly plunks the first batter he faces. Green down to second. And here's Ryan, the catcher. Looks like we may have a snoozer today, guys. Well, they can't all be close ones. Boy, we've had a couple of good ones lately, though, haven't we? Here's Ryan, 1 for 2. Infield at double play depth as Sanford comes to the plate on a 2-4 right-handed fly ball into left field. That's playable for Reichart. He's there to make the catch and runners hold. Okay, here's Wilson now. And look at that, too, on the yes, sir. Yeah, close. Foy not happy about being hit by the pitch, especially, right? He just homered his last at bat, so you have to wonder, was that deliberate? Sanford saying, hey, you want to crowd the plate and hit a homer off my starter, I'm going to plunk you. Wilson, the good hitting pitcher. Here's the 1-8, struck him out. Second time today that Wilson has struck out. And Rico Petrocelli, can't talk today, will be the hitter. 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles for Rico. First and second, 2 down. Here's the pitch from Sanford. That's a 3-3. Right-handed, it's a foul ball behind the plate. Rogers going back, drops the mask, and makes the catch to retire the side. And it's a visit from Mookie. No runs, no hits, 2 left on. There was a walk and a hit batter. So Sanford comes in and restores order. We go to the bottom of the fifth, 6-0 Boston. Meanwhile, Earl Wilson throwing a gem here today. He's only allowed 2 singles. It will be Rogers, Cardinal, and Shaw for the Angels. That's a good question, Ben. I would say they do very well because all these seasons are normalized against the league norm, okay, if that makes any sense. A good example would be, let's say, Carl Yastrzemski's 1968 card. The card is a lot better than a 301 card would be in a 1986, for example, just to throw a year off the top of my head out there, or 1952. That's great, Dan. It seems that way. The Angels, instead of bats, they're up there swinging with Mookie's tail. Rogers struck out his first time today. Wilson gets the sign from Ryan now. Comes to the plate on a 212 right-handed. That's a base hit into right field. So Rogers a line single into right. Just the 3rd hit of the day for the Angels. Rogers a decent runner for a catcher. No threat to steal. Here's Cardinal now, 0 for 1. Wilson, if you're curious, rated 7 for endurance. From the stretch, the pitch to Cardinal is a 2-8 right-handed. That's a base hit into right field, an open single. Rogers could go to third on that. He's a 12 plus 2, 14. Conigliaro a 0. He's going, and Conigliaro will throw it into Jones. They'll cut that off and keep runners at the corners with nobody out. Leading by 6, they keep the speedy Cardinal at first. Maybe not for long, however, with a star 17 and a terrible hold by Wilson. He's a 20, not held. Held, he's an 18, and that's just too tempting to not try for it. 2 through 6, he's trying for the lead. Shaw at the plate, he's got the lead. The pitch to Shaw, there goes Cardinal. The throw by Ryan, 18, he's stolen it. So a stolen base for Jose Cardinal. For Jose, his 3rd steal of the season. And here's the next pitch to Shaw. That's going to be a 6-11 right-hander. It's a fly ball to right field X. It's Tony Conigliaro again, a 3-E8. Tough play for Tony. Here's the play as he races towards the line on a 20, and he makes the catch. That's going to be deep enough for Rogers to tag up and score, however, and the Angels are on the board. Sac fly to right, Rogers scores. 6-1 the score now. And now we got another dilemma. Sanford's due up. He's a 2-week. Oh my goodness. Do they have enough bullpen for a pinch hitter? Let's check. Well, they're going to have to make do. We're going to send up a batter here for Sanford. Sanford, 1 inning. No hits, no runs, no walks. He hit a batter. Struck out 1. Jones, Yastrzemski, Scott, Conigliaro. Clyde Wright will get up. He could serve as a long man. Wright selected in the 1965 draft. When I don't know why I remember that. I remember telling you guys I was looking at the 65 draft the other day. The first ever draft, of course. Well, they've got some batters, yeah. Seaburn, Satriano, Kirkpatrick played pinch hit in this game in real life. I kind of like to hold him back. Let's have some fun with it. A player that always brings a smile to my face, Jay Johnstone. Johnstone, quite the prankster in his playing day. He wrote a book, very good book, I must say, well worth reading. So here's Johnstone now. Johnstone on the season, just 1 for 7, all as a pinch hitter. Left-handed batter. Runner on second, 1 down. Wilson set now. Here's the pitch to Jay on a 4-8 left-handed, and he loses in ball 4. So Johnstone comes off the bench and draws the walk. Angels mounting a threat here in the 5th. Johnstone, good runner. Star 15 Steeler 14 runner Jim Fregosi comes to the plate. Fregosi 0 for 2 so far. Wilson in his first real jam of the afternoon. 1 run across already. First and second, 1 down. From the stretch, the pitch to Fregosi. He's a 5-6 right-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Wilson. And it will be up to Bobby Knopp. Knopp 1 for 2 today. Wilson staring in. 1-6 right-handed. It's a ground ball to short. Petrocelli fields it. Goes the short way to Jones. And the side is retired. The Angels get a run on 1 hit. They leave 2. We're through 5. Boston 6, California 1. Sanford's day is done. Here comes Clyde Wright, the left-hander. Wright so far has worked in 6 games in relief. He's 0-2, but with a solid 3.38 ERA. He'll be facing Jones, Yastrzemski, and Scott, 2 lefties to start off the inning. So here's Dalton Jones now, 1 for 3 today. Left on left. Wright winds and deals on a 3-7 fly ball into center field. Cardinal backing up and pulls it in for out number 1. And here's Carl Yastrzemski. Yaz 0 for 3 today so far. Yaz off to kind of a disappointing start with this card. Let's look at the card for a minute. It wasn't one of his better years, honestly. 278, 16 home runs, 80 RBIs. Solid numbers to be sure, but certainly below Yastrzemski's standards. Left on left, as Wright delivers on a 4-9 left-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep right field. There goes Smith backing up now. He's on the track and makes the catch for the out. So Yaz gave it a ride. It's just a loud out to right. Here's Scott, 1 for 2 with the walk. Right-handed hitter. Clyde Wright into the windup, and the pitch is a 6-2 right-handed. That ball is crushed to deep left field, backing up his right card. He's at the track, he's at the wall, he leaps at the wall. Did he get it? He's got it! Oh my God, what a catch by Reichart to rob George Scott of a home run. Let's look at it again. 6-2 righty, homer to 17 on an 18. Scott is robbed by a leaping catch at the wall by Rick Reichart. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Wright. Oh my goodness. That could be big, Ben. Right? Yeah. You know you're great when 278 is considered a subpar season. Bottom of the sixth we go. Smith, Reichart, and Adcock. Wilson still in complete command of this game to this point. Smith's 0 for 2, left-handed hitter. The windup on the pitch is a 3-8 right-handed. A ground ball up the middle. It's cut off there by Petroselli, who turns and throws in time for the out. One away, and here's Reichart. Rick Reichart, 1 for 2. Wilson into the windup. Here's the pitch now. It's a 4-10 right-handed. A shallow fly into left field. Ostremski coming on fast. He's there to catch up with it, and 2 outs quickly in the bottom of the sixth. And here's Adcock. Adcock 0 for 2. Wilson winds and deals. 3-6 right-handed. That is a triple to 8, and look at that on a 2. That's going to be down for extra bases. Green chasing it down in right center. Adcock rounding the throw. He is in with a triple. And there's today's triple. Amazing, isn't it? A lot of triples. A lot of triples, a lot of red 5s on the X chart, and seemingly a lot of 1s on the 20-sided. Well, at least I have witnesses. The daily triple. And I have almost have the mustache like Alex Trebek. Well, okay. That's a new one. Oh, you must be looking at the stat thing. Okay. I miss Alex Trebek, frankly, now that you bring him up. Angels have a chance to get on the board with another run here. They trail 6-1. They have a runner at third and 2 down. Bob Rogers at the plate, who's 1 for 2 today. Wilson stares in. Full windup and a 6-5 as the grounder to second. Jones to Scott. And the Angels strand another runner. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We are through 6. It's 6-1 Red Sox. Clyde Wright coming out for his second inning of work. Canigliaro, Green, and Foy due for Boston. Give me another second here. I need to refill this cup. Gonna have to warm that one up as we get down to the bottom of the carafe. Bottom of the carafe, top of the 7th. Here's Canigliaro now. 2 for 3 today. Right, the left-hander into the windup. That's going to be a 3-6 left-handed. That ball is smoked. High fly ball to deep left field. Reichart starts back and just turns around and watches it sail out of the park. Home run Canigliaro. What a day he's having. His 3rd hit of the day. His 5th home run of the season. And it's 7-1 Boston. So are we at Laffer point yet? Are we at the point where we can officially dub this one a Laffer? Let me grab my coffee. Yeah, Franklin, the triple pool. Here's green now, left on left. Green 1 for 2 with a walk. Right delivers a 6-10 left-handed. It's a fly to center field X. That's going to be Cardinal, 2E3, fine center fielder. Ranging back now. Back at the track, at the wall, leaping catch at the wall, and he's got it. Oh my God, what a play by Jose Cardinal. He took extra bases away from Lenny Green with an amazing catch in center. That's going to be a web gem. Boy, if they had a replay in those days, they'd be looking at that one again. Here's Foy. He's been on base all 3 times, even though he's 1 for 2. Reached on an error in the second, hit a big 3-run homer, which opened the game up in the third, and he was hit by a pitch in the 5th. Let's see what he does here against Wright. The pitch to Foy is a 5-4 right hand. Let's a grounder down to third base X. That's a tough chance for Shaw, a 3E25. Here's the play. On a 10 error range, it's an 8 on a 25, and he makes a fine stop to his feet, throws him out. Excellent play by Shaw to retire Joe Foy. Rowan and Martin's laughing. You might. That sounds about right. I can't say for sure. Here's Ryan, singled and flew to left twice. Pitch from right is a 2-8 left-handed. He struck him out. So Clyde Wright, other than the home run by Tony C., has done a pretty good job. Another run for the Sox, however. And they take a 7-1 lead to the bottom of the 7th as we stretch. We already had our stretch today when the repairman came, so we're just going to move right into it. Earl Wilson will be entering his first inning of potential fatigue, an S7 rated starter. Bottom of the order for the Angels, Cardinal, Shaw, and the pitcher's spot. So that'll be it for Wright. He'll certainly yield for a pinch hitter. Clyde Wright worked 2 innings, gave up the home run to Canigliaro. No walks and a K. They don't have another lefty. So who's got the most innings, basically, at this point? Let's see, I should almost use one of their computer-only cards here. I have 2 computer-only cards for the Angels. Jorge Rubio and Ed Sukla. Both are backwards. They're pretty even. Let's see which ones worked the most innings that year. It's almost time for the mop-up man for California. Sukla worked 17 innings in real life. Rubio worked 27 innings. Well, that's almost enough to get a real card for some teams. Okay, so it's going to be Rubio. And to the bottom of the 7th we go. I remember I was a kid when it came on. My dad's girlfriend at the time absolutely loved that show. Some of the jokes, of course, went over my head at age 11. So here's Cardinal, 1 for 2. Wilson gets the sign. Comes in there with a 2-7. Base hit up the middle. Cardinal with the leadoff single. He's 2 for 3. He's held at 18. Heck, why not? 2 through 6, he's going to try for it. 8, he does not get the lead, and here's Shaw. From the stretch, that's 3-5. Single 2 stars. Shaw with a base hit up the middle. Cardinal rounds and heads for third. And the Angels have something going in the 7th as they send up a batter for Clyde Wright. One more hitter walk will fatigue Wilson. So activity now in the Boston pen. Bucky Brandon, the righty, throwing down there. And now the batter will be Kirkpatrick. He pinch hit in this game in real life. Thought about using him back in the 5th, but I was saving him for later in the game. So here he is now. Let's see what he's done in our replay. He started a few games in the outfield. Kirkpatrick is just 6 for 35. That's 171. He does have a home run. So runners at the corners, nobody out. Here's Ed Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick, I remember more recently, with the Kansas City Royals. Wilson, the pitch to Kirkpatrick. It's a 6'8" left-handed, and he pops him up. Infield fly rule. Jones has it, and Kirkpatrick is retired for the first out. That'll bring up Fregosi. Knopp on deck. Angels trying to get something going in the 7th. Wilson staring in from the stretch. Here's the pitch now on a 4-9. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Wilson, determined to not fatigue and come out of the game, gets Kirkpatrick and strikes out Fregosi, and it'll be up to Bobby Knopp. Wilson gets the side. The pitch to Knopp. A 2-6 right-handed grounder to third. Foy has it. Throws him out, and the side is retired, and Wilson manages to stay in the game. No runs, 2 hits, and they leave a pair. Seven innings in the books. It's 7-1 Boston. Wright is out. Burdett is on. No, Burdett is not on. Rubio is on. We already decided that. Rubio, a backwards righty. He's only pitched in 2 games this season, but he has 4 scoreless innings to his credit. He'll face Wilson, who will bat. He's a good hitting pitcher anyway. Then Petrocelli, followed by Jones. Rubio, a right-handed pitcher, comes set now on a 6'4" right-handed. It's a grounder to shortstop X. That's going to be Fregosi, a 2E 36. Fregosi, tough play into the hole on a 10, error rating. It's a 6 on a 36. That sounds like trouble to me, and he boots it for the error. So error Fregosi. Wilson reaches. Second error for California. Can't really see all of Rubio's card in here, can we? Get most of it, I guess. Here's Petrocelli. Petrocelli 2 for 4, a pair of doubles. The pitch from Rubio, a 3-6 right-handed, single to 13, and on a 13, it just eludes the glove of Knopp. Backing it up quickly is Smith. Wilson will hold at second on the single. First and second, nobody out. Here's Dalton Jones. The second baseman, 1 for 4 today. Rubio, significantly better against lefties on this card. Another lefty, Yastrzemski, on deck. Here's the pitch to Jones on a 6-10 left-hander. That's a grounder to third base X. Another chance for Shaw, a 3E25. Tough play for Shaw. On a 19, he's got it. Down to second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. It's a force play, 5-4. Petrocelli is erased. Pitcher Wilson takes third. And that's the first out of the inning. The Angels will play at double play depth for Yastrzemski. Runners at the corners, 1 down. Rubio checks the runners. Now from the stretch, the pitch to Yaz on a 5-7. He struck him out. Not out of the woods yet as up steps George Scott, the team leader in home runs. Scott has 7 home runs this season so far. He's 1 for 3 today with a walk. Rubio staring in now from the stretch. 5-7 right-handed, and he walks him to load the bases. Jones moves down to second. So bases loaded, 2 down. And here's Tony Sees, the hot bat today. 3 for 4 with a home run. No place to put him. Rubio staring in, checks the runners. The full windup. Pitch to Tony on a 1-9. Fly ball into left and playable for Reichard. He's there. And that will do it. So Rubio wiggles out of it. For the Angels, for the Red Sox, rather. No runs a hit, and they leave the bases loaded. There was a walk and an error. And another scoreless inning for Jorge Rubio. All eyes now turn to Earl Wilson, trying for the complete game. He allowed 2 hits in his first inning of potential fatigue. He's in his second endurance inning now, so a combination of 2 hits or walks will tire him. And Willie Smith will lead it off for the Angels. Smith 0 for 3 today. Wilson gets the sign. Here's the windup on the pitch on a 2-6. Struck him out. Let's count them now. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts for Wilson. Rick Reichard, the batter, 1 for 3. Wilson getting the sign. The windup, the pitch to Rick is a 2-7 right-handed. Comebacker, Wilson knocks it down, now picks it up. Flips to Scott for out number 2. And with 2 down, nobody on, the batter will be Joe Adcock. Adcock 1 for 3. Had a triple and was left standing there. Wilson into the windup. Here it is on a 3-6. Triple to 8 on a 9. He just misses his second triple. He'll settle for a double this time. So the second extra base hit of the day for Joe Adcock. Let's take another look at that. 3-6 righty, a triple to 8 on a 9. That's going to be a long double for Adcock. And now one more hit or walk would fatigue Wilson. Wilson on the ropes again here, trying to complete the ball game. Bucky Brandon is ready in the Boston pen. Here's Rogers. Buck Rogers, 1 for 3 today, batting left-handed. Here's the pitch on a 2-6, grounder to second. Jones has it over to Scott, and the side is retired. No runs a hit, one left. We're through 8. 7-1, Boston. No drama today, Franklin. Sorry, guys, they can't all be, they can't all be close. Rubio will come out for his second inning. Left-handed batter Lenny Green to lead off the ninth. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Whoops, all dice were not in the tower. Look out. And that's a foul ball. Rubio rubs up a new ball, now set. The pitch to Green, a 3-10 right-handed fly ball into left field. That's playable for Reichart, who makes the grab for out number 1. Here's Foy now. Foy's 1 for 3 with a home run. A 3-run blast in the third. Rubio gets the sign. Here's the pitch on a 6-3 right-handed. That is a base hit into left field for Foy, his second hit of the day. So Foy a 1-out single. Mike Ryan will be the hitter. Rubio checks the runner. From the stretch, the pitch to Ryan is a 3-5 righty. That's a triple to 3. On a 16, he'll settle for a long single. Foy will round and head into third. The 2-star single. 3-5. The roll is a 16. And with a big lead. Oh yeah, Wilson's going to bat. He's going for the complete game. Runners at the corners, 1 down. Here's Earl Wilson, a good hitting pitcher. Rubio rated 3 for relief endurance. Here's the pitch on a 5-8. He struck him out. And here's Rico Petrocelli. Runners cornered, 2 down. Rico, 3 for 5 today, pair of doubles. Pitch from Rubio. 5-4 right-handed. It's a fly ball into center. Shallow fly ball. Cardinal coming fast, and he'll take it for out number 3. So the computer-only Rubio throws up 2 scoreless innings. Too little, too late, however. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left on for Boston. The question now is, can Wilson get the complete game? Bottom of the order, Cardinal, Shaw, and a batter for Rubio. I know, Jeremiah, and there was over 41,000 on hand for this game in real life. Saturday evening in Anaheim. Well, it's not all bad. I guess they can go over to Disneyland and watch the fireworks later. Right? Here's Jose, 2 for 3. Wilson going for the complete now. They're lined up with the pitch. It's a 3-6 grounder to shortstop. Petrocelli has it. Throws him out. That's 1. Wilson, of course, only allowing 1 hit in the 8th. Kind of reset his fatigue. So he gets 3-1, 4-2, 5-5. So we'd have to give up a combination of 2 hits and or walks to fatigue. Shaw 1 for 2 with a sac fly. Wilson the windup. Here's the pitch to Paul Shaw. It's a 4-6 right-handed. That's going to be a base hit up the middle. And now he's on the verge of fatiguing again. We'll have a batter for Rubio, who worked 2 solid innings. And that's going to be Norm Seaburn. Seaburn, a left-handed hitter, pretty good against righties, although it certainly hasn't translated to his stats in the season so far. He's hitting just 178, no homers, just 3 RBIs. You might remember, he started the year as basically the Angels' cleanup hitter, at least against righties. So Seaburn standing in from the left side. Wilson going for the complete. Here's the pitch to Seaburn now on a 3-5. He walks him, and that will fatigue Wilson. So that's 1, 2, 3, 5 and 3. So Billy Herman out to the mound. Wilson's doing most of the talking. And Herman's going back to the dugout. I'll be darned, they're going to let Wilson pitch to Fregosi fatigued. I don't do it very often. First and second, 1 out. Here's Fregosi. Fregosi 0 for 4 today, struck out twice against Wilson. That may have influenced Herman's decision. Working out of the stretch now. Pitch to Fregosi. He's a 6'10 right-handed. That's a grounder to short. That could be 2. It's Petrocelli. Petrocelli, a 2E38 into the hole on a 2. He can't get it. That's through for a single. Runner will hold at third, not taking any chances, is Shaw. The bases are loaded. And that's going to do it for Wilson. So they gave him 1 batter fatigued. He couldn't get him. And Bucky Brandon will be coming on, try to finish it. A fine game by Wilson. He winds up going 8 1/3. Ten hits. Only 1 run allowed so far. He scattered them well, as Ben said earlier. Walked a pair. Struck out 7. Brandon pitched in this game in real life. Here he is. He'll be coming in to face Bobby Knopp, Willie Smith on deck. Bucky Brandon in our replay so far. Despite a good card, he's been in 9 games and he's 0-2 with a very high 8.49 ERA. Much better against right-handers. Bases loaded, 1 out. It's 7-1 Boston. Angels are mounting a threat here in the bottom of the 9th, at least making it interesting. And here's Knopp. Knopp 1 for 4 today. Bucky Brandon ready to go now. Gets the sign from Mike Ryan. The full windup. And the pitch to Knopp is a 3-4. Single to 4 on a 5. It's a grounder to third. Foy has it, goes home for the force. Let me make sure that's true. Infield back, loaded, ground ball B. Note, with the runner back, they get a run. I take that back. He goes to second for the force, and that's all. Sorry about that. I had to look that one up. So that's going to go 3-4, grounder to third B. That's going to go 5-4, force. Fregosi forced. Shaw will cross the plate. Seaburn to third. That'll be an RBI for Knopp. It's 7-2. 2 down, however. It's up to Willie Smith. Smith 0 for 4 today as Brownden stares in. Here's the pitch. 1-7, fly ball to right field. That's a can of corn for Tony Conigliaro, and that's going to do it. That's the ball game. Too little, too late for California. They get a run on a pair of hits. Final score, 7-2. And I'll have the totals for you here in just a moment. Player of the game. Couple of worthy candidates. I'm leaning Conigliaro, but you could go with Foy. Franklin likes Wilson. Wilson, a good game, not a particularly overpowering performance. Kenyon likes Wilson. It's not easy to scatter 10 hits. Well, that's true. And Soul likes Foy. I kind of like Tony Conigliaro. 3 hits, a homer, 2 runs, 2 ribbies. Foy had 3 RBIs. Foy really broke the game open. Not an easy call, gentlemen, I'll say that. Rubio in his 2 innings scattered 3 hits, walked 1, there was an error, and he fanned a pair. Six charged to McLaughlin, who takes the loss. McLaughlin drops to 1-1. Wilson with the win improves to 3-1. There is no save. The home run did break the game open. Hell, without a clear-cut favorite, I'm going to split it between the 3 of them. Co-players of the game, Tony Conigliaro, Joe Foy, and the pitcher, Earl Wilson. What the hell? It's just for fun anyway. We're not keeping records on that, right? It's not going to be like whoever got the most player of the game awards is the league MVP or anything like that. So the totals for the Red Sox: 7 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. The Angels, 2 runs on 10 hits, and they made 2 errors. And that's the ball game here on a Monday. It's a laugher. 7-2 Boston. They improved to 12-14. The Angels continue to struggle. 10-17 now. Tomorrow's ball game, we'll jump back to the National League. Cincinnati Reds at Chicago Cubs. Jim O'Toole for the Reds. Dick Ellsworth on the mound for the Cubs. 1:30 Pacific. Hope to see you all here. In the meantime, thanks for hanging out with me. Everyone have a really great evening. Take care for now, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye, everybody.